Hello. I thought I'd wear a poncho. As you can see, I'm very brightly brightly coloured. But yeah, it doesn't matter. What I want to talk about is the stage that I've kind of got to, which is probably a common thing for people who are on these spiritual journeys, or just trying to get somewhere in life, where they're kind of getting to a point where they're starting to think, well, yeah, I've learned a lot of facts and figures. I've taken in ridiculous amounts of information in the past however many months or years of my life. I've heard this person say this, I've read this book, I've gone to this class, I've done this, that and the other. So it's all kind of been reaffirmed, but now it's got to a point where I'm not looking for spiritual facts and figures anymore. I'm kind of looking for spiritual experiences now, and I know everyone wants that, but it's getting very difficult to because you can't really cultivate them, you can't fake them, you can't force them to happen. You have your own ideas of what would be a good experience to have. For a lot of people, it's being able to properly meditate and clear their mind, or have an out-of-body experience, things like that. But I'm not sure what it is for me. I don't know whether, because for me meditating isn't something that I can do very easily. Not the clearing the mind bit. I can slow myself down, and try and become more receptive. And during my Reiki classes, I've certainly had a lot more moments of where my brain definitely doesn't stop, the chatter. That's very difficult to surpass, but I have got to points where I've thought that was a lot quieter than usual. It's not making as much, it's not as chaotic as normal, so that's a good thing. And I'm not going to push myself to, I'm not going to beat myself up, because there was a stage where I went through that, and by virtue of getting involved with that thought and thinking, oh my god, this is never, it just won't shut up, I actually induced panic attacks in myself, because I focused too much on the thought, and it became very overwhelming, the fact that the human brain is always active, that the mind never sleeps, kind of thing. And I sort of, all of a sudden I heard it all, or where it was submerged in all this chaos that goes on in the subconscious all the time, and that was a very horrible state to be in. It happened a few times where I'd actually have to get up in the middle of the night or whatever it was and just walk, or just go and try and do something to distract myself, and short of ringing for an ambulance or whatever, because panic attacks they're horrible things. Anyone who's had one or has any kind of panic disorder or whatever will know how you honestly think that you are dying, or that the world's ended, or that you've just gone into this completely different dimension. That is it. Just everything's horrible. You feel, well, but these experiences that I'm talking about, I'm not sure where they're going to come from or what they're going to be. Having an out-of-body experience is kind of, it would be nice, but at the same time, living in the moment and being in the body is also a very positive thing too. So there's a world of opportunities. I'm not sure which one I'm going to have. But it's kind of getting, not boring, but I'm at a very sensitive stage in my sort of spiritual journey, evolution thing, where I don't know where I'm going with it. I don't think I'm going to end up as being a teacher. A lot of people end up being like spiritual teachers, and they can teach other people the truths of the universe and stuff like that. Sorry, that poncho's getting all twisted. But yeah, there's for me, I feel more that I'm going to be a healer, but in a very hands-on way. Maybe with herbs and crystals and things like that, but that to me isn't a spiritual experience. That just sort of is. so it's very difficult to explain this. I think I have always had this sense that something is about to happen throughout my whole life, like I'm waiting for this point that I might have remembered from before birth, that this will be the pivotal point in my life. And despite having had many pivotal points, many big things have happened to me, I've still, after all the fallout from those experiences has like sort of died down and I've started to come back onto a plateau, I have certainly had that feeling come back where it's like, well, that was big, but was that the thing that I'm waiting for? Was that it? And it certainly feels like no. That was a turning point. Definitely, I had a life full of experience, definitely, but this so what's going to happen next feeling. So now that I know the theory, when am I going to take the practical exam, or when's the, that's still hanging around a lot. And I'm sure that, it's a phase, a common phase that people go through. And I would like to know about it, so if you have got any information, any comments, then I'd love to know about them. Because we're all here to help each other, I suppose, and hopefully by saying this, I'll reach some other people who are also in this sort of transient state, like a mid-state between two things, where they know all the things they want to do and should be doing, and they feel quite comfortable in all that, but they don't know where they're going yet. So this lack of direction is very much a key player right now. Yeah, so any comments, that would be very helpful.